How you guys? Okay. It is 11 p.m. and I never do a video this late. Okay. But whatever it is, I do believe that God has me in a transition right now, periods, a spiritual transition. Um and when I say that I'm probably getting my rest more in the daytime and I'm probably more up at night, and I think that it's just God has me in a transition now where I'm getting more in tune with God even at night more. While everybody in the whole world is asleep, I'm up. And it's a great thing because God is just shifting me in a new way and transitioning me in a spiritual way that's even greater than what I can imagine. And then I'll be 38 on July the 12th. So it's a big transition, but I'm gonna flow with God in it because I know God got me. And He always takes care of me. So I was just kind of laying in bed, and the video that we're gonna talk about today is um parasitic relationship. Or you can call it parasite relationships. Okay? So whichever way you want to put it, parasitic relationships or parasites relationships. This is the topic of this video. So what is a parasitic relationship? Okay, you have to first understand this, that when we are first born, okay, when we first are born, our parents, our mothers and our fathers, are the ones that's actually supposed to introduce us to God, our source, our energy, our everything, right? So our parents are supposed to introduce us to God, okay? So what happens is when we're born, and when our parents were never introduced to God as their source energy, and they never got the love that they were supposed to get. You know what I'm saying? What happens is they pass that on to us. So as we come into this world and we're born now, they don't know, some parents do and some don't, but they don't know how to teach us and connect us back to source energy, which is God. Okay. So when we are born and you come into this world, and you got a mother or father or both parents, and neither one of them knew how to teach you about God, how to connect you back to source energy, which is God, how to teach you about the love of God. So when you have parents that did not teach you those things, it's only because their parents probably didn't teach them, you know, how to connect back to God, how to get that love from God, how to connect back to source energy, which is God. And so because their parents didn't teach them, then they couldn't teach us. So now that's where the parasitic relationships come into place, or you can call it the parasites relationships come into place. So what happens is with these type of relationships is when we are not taught at such a young age, when we first come into this world, how to connect back to source energy, which is God, when we are not given that love, when we are not taught what love really looks like, because you got to realize God is a God of love, right? So when we are not taught, or we are not shown, or we have not experienced, and our parents did not show us what love looked like, or they didn't show us, they didn't connect us back to God, our source energy, the creator of everything. So when our parents didn't connect us back to that, what happens is that we start to connect, and we start to get in these parasitic relationships, or these parasites relationships, where we start to look for source energy from other people. Okay, so what happens is with these parasitic relationships, or these parasites relationship, because we didn't receive it from birth, and we didn't get connected back to source energy and was not taught, we start to look for these parasitic relationships in men and women. Okay, now what is a parasitic relationship? It's basically an exchange of energy. Okay, it's basically where either you are the one that's giving all your energy out and being depleted all the time, or the other person is giving their energy to you and they're being depleted all the time. You know what I'm saying? But it's never going to be a balance when you're in a parasitic relationship or a parasite relationship. It's never going to be a balance. It's always either you are the one that's giving the energy and you feel drained after you are connecting with that person, or that person, and you got to realize this. Say, for instance, that it's you that's giving the energy all the time. And then once you connect with this person, and you're with them, then you notice your energy starts to drain, right? That's because they have literally drained all your energy out to now you are drained, you are depleted, you don't have anything left to give, right? Because it is a parasitic relationship. Or the shoe can be on the other foot where you are the parasitic, you are the parasite. And I'm sorry, y'all. And you are always or this person is always feeding you their energy, and just always uplifting you and being there for you and giving you positive affirmations and loving on you all the time, right? But you are constantly taking that person energy, okay? And so once that person is done giving you all that love, that attention, that affirmations, the positivity they're giving you, then they are drained, they are depleted. You see what I'm saying? So it can go either way. You know what I'm saying? Either you can be the parasite, or he can be the parasite, or and this is the thing, what we have to understand with these parasitic relationships and the parasites relationship, is that you got to be honest with yourself. You really do. Because we all have been in positions where we were the parasites. You know what I'm saying? And then when you start to really, really internally heal and really observe yourself more and really understand yourself more in a deeper level, in a deeper way, then you begin to see your actions and how you was that parasite at once upon a time. Or even if you feel like you got certain traits still, you'll begin to recognize those traits and see those things, okay? So we all have been in positions where we were the parasites, or the other person was, but it's just really internally and just being honest with yourself, okay? So when you deal with these parasitic relationships, what happens is that it's more of an energy taking, okay? So that means that if your energy is really, really high and you in a good vibration and you connected back with source energy, you know what I'm saying, which is God, and you know this, okay? And then what happens is when you connect with this man or this woman, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, hold up. You know what I'm saying? You start to feel your energy being drained and being sucked out of you. Then that is a parasitic relationship, okay? Because it's an imbalance there. One person is taking, and the other person is giving. And the way I can break it down, the most simplest way is codependency and narcissism. I think that's how you pronounce it. Narcissism. Okay, I hope I'm saying it right. So, what happens is with these two relationships is that the person that's a narcissist, they will take, meaning they'll continually take your energy, your money, your time, anything that they can take from you to gain that energy, to gain that power. They will take it. And then for the codependent person, they will be drained, they will be exhausted, they will feel depleted, they will feel as though they've given their all and that they have nothing left to give for themselves, okay? So this is the best kind of example I can give you guys when it comes to a parasitic relationship, okay, or a parasite relationship. So you look at the codependent person and the narcissist, and you see that the narcissist takes everything. You know what I'm saying? And so when the narcissist when the narcissistic person does not get what they want from the codependent person, what'll happen is they'll go find another person they can find that's codependent, where they can suck their energy. And so when the other person they're dealing with, when they no longer are willing to give their energy to that person, then they'll go back to the other codependent person and find energy in them and suck it from them. So it's like when you pay attention to the dynamics, this kind of parasite or parasitic relationship, that these type of people will always jump person to person to person to person, right? They'll never just really be settled with one person. They'll always jump person to person, because when they feel like they no longer have opportunities to pull energy from that person that they're with, then they have to go jump on something else or get in another situation to find energy or find the resources they want in another person. And this is what a parasitic relationship is. And the best example I can give y'all of this is, I'll give you my own personal situation, and I'll give you this. And I'm hoping that this is making sense to y'all when I say a parasitic relationship. And a lot of times this is what happens when we do get in parasitic relationships. We don't even realize we in one. And that's just the truth. We have no clue that we are in a parasitic relationship. We have no clue that we're in a parasite relationship. And the reason why is because when we look at a man or a woman, we will look at them as like, oh my God, wow, it seemed like they got all of their shit together. Oh my God, wow, they seem perfect for me. Oh my God, wow, they are really catering to me right now. They are really taking care of my needs. They are really being just there for me. Wow, they are giving me all the attention I want. Wow, you know what I'm saying? It's like a love bombing stage, if that makes sense. So when you look at it, it's like a love bombing. Okay, so in the beginning, when you look at these parasitic relationships, it's love bombing. Whether it comes from the woman or the man, it's love bombing. And so when you look at these type of relationships, just like I said, the narcissism, I can't even pronounce it, but y'all know what I mean. Sometimes I can't get the words off my mouth, but and then it's late too. So y'all know what I mean when I say the codependent and the narcissism, right? So with these two type of people, what happens is that it's so late, y'all, and I'm tired kind of. So what happens is, but I got to get this video out. What happens is that these two people are drawn to each other, right? Because the codependent person is looking at the narcissism person like, oh my God, he's the perfect guy. Oh my God, she's the perfect person. Oh my God, he has all his shit together. He does everything. He caters to me. I cater to him, blah, blah, blah. He's the perfect guy. Wow, he's handsome. Wow, he's really, you know what I'm saying? He's strong. He knows how to handle me. This is how a parasitic relationship is started. Wow, he knows how to handle me. Oh my God, he has all the qualities that I'm looking for in a man, right? So now, as women and men, we are looking at this person like they are Prince Charming, like she is everything. And what we don't realize and understand is that you start to look at this person 2 months later, 3 months later, 4 months later, 5 months later. And everything that drew you in first, when you first encountered them, you start to look at them and see them in a different light. You start to look at them and see them in a form of, they're not as attentive as I thought they were. Now he doesn't spend any time. Now she doesn't spend any time. Now the positive affirmations, the positive vibes we used to share together, the fact that we used to laugh together, the fact that we used to be able to share each other thoughts and what we needed to talk about, the fact that we had good communication at first, you start to look at it 5 or 2 or 3 months later, and you start to be like, wow, we can't even communicate. Wow, we don't even have any affection anymore. Wow, he doesn't even look at me the same. She don't even look at me the same. Wow, he no longer wants to even spend time with me. Wow, he no longer even wants to communicate with me. She no longer wants to even have any communication with me. Wow, we in the same household, but we don't even communicate Wow, we together in this full-blown committed relationship, but he's not attentive. He lacks that affection that he used to give me in the beginning. Wow, she lacks that affection and that love she used to give me in the beginning. And this is how a parasitic relationship starts. Just like the codependent person in the narcissism, right? And so now what happens is that because two people are in a parasitic or a parasite relationship, one person is either taking all the energy and the other person is going to stay drained. But it's going to be either one or the other. Or it can switch up to where if you're the person that was always depleted in your energy, you can start to be the parasite or the person that takes all the other person energy. And then they start to feel depleted and drained because you became the parasite that was sucking all their energy out of them. So it can go vice versa. And that's why I say you got to be honest with yourself. When it comes to me, I can honestly and truthfully say here on camera and video that I have played both sides. I've done it. And if we're not honest enough with ourselves to say, hey, yes, I've done both. You know, I have been the person where I will suck the energy from a person. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I've learned is this, is that God will teach us the lessons that we never wanted to learn back then. He'll still teach us now. So for me, it took a harsh reality and it took something that meant everything to me that I lost. But God knew that was a harsh reality, but at the same token, God also knew that I would learn from it too. So I can say that I've been on that other end of that spectrum, you know what I'm saying, where I will pull the energy. And I also was that person where my energy got sucked and depleted a lot when it came to people, because I was always trying to be there for people. And it didn't matter in what shape or form. It didn't matter if it was financially, energy, time, whatever. I was always trying to be there for people that I cared about the most, you know. And so that's what a parasitic relationship is. It's just, instead of looking to God as your source to give you that energy, then you look to people to give you that energy. Instead of looking for God as your source, as your creator to love on you the way you need to be loved, you go look for a man to love you in that way, or you go look for a woman to love you in that way. Instead of allowing God to hold you and cater to you in the way that you need to be catered to, you'll go look for another human being, another person to cater to you. Because why? You're disconnected from your source energy, which is God. And that's the whole purpose of the video. I want us to understand that our source energy is God. And when you are disconnected from source energy, which is God, you're going to always look for people to give you that energy, to fill you back up when you feel empty, to give you and to help you, when in reality, God can help you and give you everything you need. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a parasitic relationship is. It's when you are disconnected from your source energy, which is God. And that's why we have to always, when I say this, always take time out to be with God. And I promise y'all this, when you take time out to just be with God, you are now connecting back to your source energy, which is God. Because God will give you instructions on what to do and how to do it and when to do it. Even when you don't understand why you got to do something, God will show you, just trust me and do it my way. And I'll show you later on why you had to. So this is what it means when you entangle yourself in parasitic relationships, that you're disconnected from your source energy, your everything, which is God. And that's the goal of this video. And to answer the question for people, well, how do we get back to a place of not always entering these parasitic relationships? You have to connect back to your source energy. You have to connect back to your everything, which is God. Your everything is not a man. Your everything is not a woman. But your everything is source energy, God, your creator. Your everything is God. So the best way to reconnect so that you don't keep looking for people to give you your energy is to reconnect back to your source energy, which is God. Now you may say, well, sometimes I'm struggling with reconnecting back with God. I'm struggling with reconnecting back to source energy, my everything, which is God. And the best way I can say it is this: in the times where you are yearning for love, affection, attention, anything, and in the times where you feel like you want to turn back to another physical human being, and you knew that it wasn't good for you, the best thing you can do is, and Wayne Dyer said this in one of his videos, and I love him. Y'all, when y'all get a chance, go listen to Wayne Dyer. Amanda Flaker, she great as an empath. And the best thing I can say is that Wayne Dyer said in one of his videos, he said, when you feel disconnected from source energy, which is God, your everything, your creator, then just talk to God and tell God the truth. God, I feel disconnected. I need love. I need affection. I need you to hold me. I need you to mother me, God. I need you to father me. I need you to give me what I'm missing, God. And just really be genuine and sincere with God. And I promise you, you can be in tears, laying on your couch, needing that love to just capture you. And God will lay right there on that couch with you and hold you and just cuddle you. And God will show you that I'm right here. I'm right here giving you all the love that you need. You don't have to go looking for that love in people. I'm right here to give it to you. Now, that's what you have to do if you want to learn how to reconnect back with source energy, your creator, your everything, which is God. You got to go to God. It doesn't have to, everybody's prayer is different. When I go to God just as I am on this camera. I will go to God, or I sit in my living room and I just talk to God. Just like I'm talking to y'all, I will sit up and have a whole conversation with God. And I tell God if my feelings are hurt. If I need to cry, I'll sit on the couch and I'll cry. And I'll tell God why my feelings is hurt. And it's times where I'll cry and I don't have to tell God why my feelings is hurt. God will just start loving on me. He'll just start giving me comfort. I'll hear God's voice so clear in my spirit where it's like he'll give me the love and the comfort. And God will even begin to show me things, how things gonna play out. So it was times where I was hurt. I needed something. I needed love. And God came in so strong in times where I was hurt. And I promise you, God sat me on the couch and showed me. He would always tell me, trust me. You just trust me, God. Trust me, God. And God would show me. And I would hear God so clear in my spirit. And God would begin to tell me how things gonna play out. God will begin to show me and give me clarity on how things gonna play out. And I promise you this, every time God loved on me, every time God catered to me, God always gave me clarity to show me. So that is how you reconnect back with God, your source, your everything. So that you don't keep running to people to fill your cup up. So that you don't keep running to people to give you the energy when really only God, your source, your everything, can give you that energy that's unconditional. And it'll sustain you. And on top of that, it'll build a strong foundation that you have with God. And not just that, it'll make your relationship with God and your bond with God so strong, where all you got to do is just open your mouth and talk to God. And God will begin to talk back to you, and he'll begin to give you the intuition you need. He'll begin to give you clarity. God will even begin to tell you what to do and how to do it. He'll begin to put the words in your mouth on what to say and how to say it. And you'll know that, okay, I'm back connected with God, my source, my creator, my everything. And that is how you reconnect back with God, your source, your energy, your everything. And that is how you stop getting into these parasitic relationships where it's just energies being taken back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And here's the thing, when you're dealing with parasitic relationships, it's like a merry-go-round. You know what I'm saying? You're going to always have this up and down limbo shit because it's unbalanced. Because one person is trying to take all the energy and you're drained. And then the next thing you know, you're taking the other person's energy and they drained. So it's an unbalance. And that is what a parasitic relationship is. It's basically just you looking for the energy in other human beings instead of getting it from God, your creator, your source, your everything. So, and I want to say this, that what we have to understand is that God is a God of love, okay? So God is a God of feminine energy and masculine energy, okay? So if God is equipping us, that's why we have feminine energy and masculine energy in us, because God has given that to us, okay? So what you have to understand when it comes to that is that, say for instance, if you never had that secure relationship with your mother and you yearning for your mother and you need her and you want her and you want her love and you just want her to hold you, but you can't get it from her physically or emotionally. What happens is that you can go to God and you can say, God, I'm missing my mother. God, I'm missing my father. God, I'm yearning for them. I need them. I need her to hold me. I need her to love on me. I need her to talk to me. I need her to let me know everything gonna be okay. So when you go to God with this type of energy, God, even in the word of God, God can come in the form of being your mother, and God can come in the form of being your father. And God will step in and be the role of your mother. God will step in and be the role of your father. And the very love and the things you yearn for from your mother and your father that they couldn't give you, God will step in and give it all to you. Because God is a God of love. God is a God where he carries feminine and masculine energy. God is a God where even when you look in the Bible, God said, I will stick closer to you than a brother. You know what I'm saying? God is like our brothers, our sister. God is our mother. God is our father. And that's who God is to us. God is everything to us. So where we're looking for other people to give us that energy, we don't have to. Because God said, I will be your everything for you. So that means if you never had a mother and you yearning for one, God said, I'll be the mother for you. If you never had a father and you yearning for that, God said, I'll be the father for you. God said he will be all that for us. So we have to just connect back to God as our source energy to give us that energy that we need. And then we'll start to pick our relationships very differently. Or we'll start to treat our relationships differently, because here's the thing. We got to be honest with ourselves too. Sometimes when we enter these parasitic relationships, we also enter into them because it was what we seen our mothers and our fathers do. So for me, when I've entered into parasitic relationships, it was because what I saw my mother do. So I started to fall right into the patterns of what she did. But then as I got older and I started to go through a lot of things that I went through in my lifetime and where I'm at now, I learned now that I don't want to be that type of person where I enter into these parasitic relationships and I take people energy, or I allow people to take my energy. You know what I'm saying? I want to have a steady balance in a relationship where it's give. I come 100%, you come 100%, and that makes 200. And so it's a steady, equal balance. And that's what a parasitic relationship is. So we all are able to connect back to source energy, which is God, our everything. And when I say that, does that mean that if we're connecting back to source energy, which is God, our everything, that we don't need relationships? No. But what's going to happen is that you're still going to want a relationship with a man or a woman. But the catch is that you're going to pick your partners more carefully. You're going to step into the right type of relationships because you are more mindful now of what you want. You are more mindful now of, I don't have to depend upon somebody else to fill me up with their energy, or to give me their energy, or to fill my cup up when I feel empty. But I can go to God as my source energy to give it to me. And then I'll meet somebody else that knows how to go to God to get their energy. And then what happens is, see, when you got two people that both of them know how to go to God to get their source energy, and they don't have to run to people to get the source energy, then that's a great combination. Because that means that's going to be a healthy relationship where two people know how to go to God first to get their source energy. And then they're going to be able to come together, and it's going to be even more powerful. It's going to be even more potent. It's going to be even more freaking stronger. And you're going to know that's a good ass balance. And that's what I think that we all are striving for. So when we know better, we do better. And I'm learning. So I never get on here and say that I don't still have codependency issues. I do. I still do. I really do. But I think when I do have moments like that where I have codependent issues, then I'll kind of detach from a situation. So instead of me keep connecting to a situation where I feel like I need somebody else's energy to fill me up, when I really catch it that I'm doing it and I'm being dependent on somebody else's energy to fill me up, what I will do sometimes when I get it and I'm like, damn, I'm dependent on somebody else to fill me up, their energy. Then that's just like affection. I use it as an example. I'm a very affectionate person. So when I'm very affectionate to somebody, I may look for that person to be very affectionate towards me. And that's another form of energy. Because you're giving your energy out through affection, and you want somebody to give their affection back to you through energy. So when you giving your energy out and then it's not reciprocated back, it's like you've given your energy out, but it's not reciprocated back. Okay? So I'm learning that the best type of thing to do in that type of situation is when you find yourself going into codependent traits, or you find yourself going into these codependent stages again, and you catch it and God show you, okay, you being dependent more on them than you are on me, God, then that's the best time to just kind of, disconnect, detach, and get back in alignment with yourself. Get back in alignment with God, your source energy, your creator, your everything. Get back in alignment with the universe. Get back in alignment with the angels, and allow them to manifest to you what area this is that you need to heal in again. Why do you see these codependent traits come up? What area are you yearning for that you're looking for a human being to give you, when really only God can